The last weekend, Labor Day ** arrived, as it always did, with the silent promise of being summer's final breath. The Morrison family had chosen the isolated cabin at Lake Whitmore for their long weekend, a refuge that promised 3 days of serenity before September dragged them back to urban routine. The property stretched like a forgotten postcard, weathered wooden deck, rusted grill, and a pier that jutted over waters dark as antique mirrors. Sarah Morrison unpacked their bags while watching her husband, David, inspect the grill with the dedication of an archaeologist. The children, Emma and Jake, had already vanished into the surrounding forest, their voices echoing among the pines like playful ghosts. It was exactly the kind of summer travel she had imagined. Simple, uncomplicated, nostalgic. The first strangeness manifested during dinner. David had found a handwritten notebook in the kitchen drawer, filled with BBQ recipes written in trembling, antiquated handwriting. The recipes were peculiar. Ribs in tears sauce, smoked sausage with herbs of forgetting, Last Supper burger. Sarah laughed nervously, attributing the eccentric nomenclature to some previous owner's dark humor. But David seemed hypnotized by the recipes. His eyes scanned the pages with an intensity she didn't recognize, as if he were deciphering ancestral secrets. When she suggested they use their own seasonings, he ignored her completely, already immersed in preparing a marinade that required a pinch of dirt from the nearest cemetery and 3 drops of dew collected before dawn. The second night brought the outdoor activities that would transform their vacation into nightmare. The children returned from the forest with stories about strange footprints in the mud, marks that seemed human, but with fingers too long, nails that left deep grooves in the damp earth. Jake, normally skeptical, swore he had seen figures moving among the trees, always at the periphery of his vision, always disappearing when he tried to focus. Emma found bones, small ones, bleached by time, arranged in precise geometric patterns around a circular clearing. When Sarah insisted they were just animal remains, the girl pointed to the saw marks at the ends, clean, deliberate human cuts. The third morning dawned with a dense fog that refused to dissipate. David had spent the night preparing the final barbecue, religiously following the notebook's recipes. The aroma emanating from the grill was simultaneously delicious and nauseating, sweet as honey, but with a metallic undertone that made the stomach churn. Sarah watched her husband through the kitchen window, noticing how his movements had become mechanical, ritualized. He seasoned the meat with obsessive precision, murmuring words she couldn't understand. His hands, once familiar, seemed to belong to a stranger. That's when she saw the other families. They emerged from the fog like macabre mirages, dozens of them, all wearing clothes from different eras, all carrying covered dishes, all walking toward the Morrison deck with smiles that didn't reach their eyes. Men in 1950s suits, women in Victorian dresses, children in school uniforms from past decades. Sarah understood with terrible clarity that they were the first to choose this location for their final Labor Day. The cabin was a magnet, attracting families year after year. decade after decade, all seeking the perfect last weekend of summer. Pair and all discovering, too late, that some endings are literal. David turned to her, his eyes now empty like those of the spectral visitors. In his hands, he held a steaming plate. The meat was perfectly grilled, seasoned with tears and dew, earth and forgetting. The long weekend had ended, summer had ended, and Sarah Morrison understood, as she felt her own movements becoming mechanical, that she too had ended. The fog swallowed everything, preserving forever that last, perfect and terrible summer weekend.